Welcome to Thursday morning virtual coffee. I'm so excited to see all of you guys here. A lot of new faces. Happy to have all of you guys join us and plug in. This morning, our guest speaker is actually a dear friend of mine. He's been my business coach for I think like 8 years now, a
Yeah.
while. And this is interesting. So first of all, if I've been coaching with him for 8 years, you know that he's someone that I know, love, and trust, right? But secondly, the topic that he's going to talk about today is something that is very dear to my heart. He's going to talk about Facebook group acquisition, which is much easier than the path I took, which was starting a Facebook group from scratch. So the Facebook group that is associated with what we do here is the Real Estate Agent Referral Network and Marketing Tips. We have 365-ish thousand members globally. And I started that with me and my mom about 5.5 years ago. Casey's actually going to show us how to use Facebook groups and get them so that you don't have to do all the work to build them the way I did from scratch. So, Casey, I'm just going to turn the call over to you. And this is a new topic that we haven't discussed before. You haven't done. So I think maybe we're the test market for you. But I'm really interested in all you got to say and how you're going to teach us how to get Facebook groups without having to build them.
Awesome. 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 Debbie, thank you so very much. So Debbie, I know time-wise because I could talk about this for 17 hours. What time do I need to be done by?
8:35
8:35.
or 7:35 Pacific.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey gang, first off, I am super excited to be here. I want to go. I gotta put myself back on gallery so I can see all your pretty faces. Awesome. So you guys, I am super excited to be here. I appreciate you guys jumping on here. I'm gonna skip really anything about me. I think Debbie kind of said it well. I'm a business coach. I work with a lot of real estate agents across platforms, across the globe. And I have really two goals for you. It's to save you time and make you more money. It's just pure and simple, right? I recognize and understand all the challenges that a lot of you guys are having in terms of getting new listings. I'm super stoked that there's a bunch of brand new folks on here that are new to the game, and new to Debbie and her call in community because it's like the best in the world. I'm 100% biased when I say that. But also the thing I love about Debbie is that she's created a platform and a community so that you can plug in and actually hyper speed your way to success, hyper speed your way to listings, hyper speed your way to getting the closings done, full stop. Okay. So Debbie's right. This is literally the first time I have done this privately. I have taught this to my private coaching clients. I have taught this a little bit in group calls, but I'm going to do a full-blown like big presentation deep dive on this on the 24th. It's free. I'll put the thing in here. I'm going to post that in the chat several times because I have to keep myself accountable. Okay. Now it's free. I'm going to run it twice. It's going to be an hour-long deep dive on this, and then I'm going to take an hour of questions. So what I'd love is for you guys to take anything you hear today, bring it to that as a question, and make me answer it live in front of everybody. Okay. So the other thing is because this is brand new, and I could talk about this until I am blue in the face because I think it is one of the most powerful tools to get you guys making money and saving time. Right? Somebody said, "Oh, well, it's a little tough when it's just me." I agree with you. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to hyperspeed what you can do and what's actually possible if it's just you. Okay. So I love that. I love that comment. So I say that I've literally printed out my presentation with timestamps to keep me on track because I want to make sure that we honor Debbie and we honor you guys' time here. So essentially, here's the bottom line. Let's just cut right to the chase. The bottom line is You need to be in front of people talking about your real estate. You need a place to post listings. You need a place to posting your referrals and your recommendations. If you've got an interior designer, you've got an escrow company, you've got somebody in the community, you've got a client or a customer, you need access to an audience. And really what we're going to talk about today is, instead of going and doing the things that traditionally you guys are taught to do, which is basically go hunt and peck for an audience member, we're going to try to look at, like, how do we take a group that's already in existence, already has your audience, put our arm around them and bring them closer to us. Okay. So on Monday, when I do the deep dive, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the presentation really into two categories. One is how to acquire the groups, and then two, which is for me much more fun, which is how to monetize those groups. Even if it's just, you're going to list more properties and sell more properties and farm for buyers inside of there. But we'll spend the time doing that. It's just in 15 minutes. I can't do all of that. So I'm going to go through, and then I'm going to literally like log into my Facebook page, and I'm going to kind of play around and just show you some of the things I'm talking about, but that you'll see. You may not know this, maybe you do. So here's the thing. Debbie's built a Facebook group of 365,000 people. She never has to work again if she doesn't want. Number one, she could sell the group. Number two, she could monetize that group in such a way she will never have to work again, ever. If she moves from Colorado Springs to Albuquerque, New Mexico, boom, that group kind of just follows her. Not that she did that, just joking. So this is building an asset that you can take with you. So here's the deal. Most agents are trying to join Facebook groups so they can get leads. I'm talking about skipping the line and just buying the whole damn group, right? What Debbie didn't tell you is the reason that we started this group was because she got her hand slapped because she was posting stuff in other people's groups, in other people's lawn. She was putting her for sale sign in other people's lawn. And people got annoyed with her and kicked her out of groups and slapped her hand. And so she just said, well, you know what, heck with this. I'm going to go build my own lawn. And now I'm going to control whose yard sign can be put in my yard. Okay, that's really where this whole thing started. And then as Debbie grew this thing, right, there were some challenges along the way, but at the end of the day, if she were to do this all over again, we would be acquiring Facebook groups. And it was because I hadn't cracked the code yet, really, when she started this. But now we're in a place where a lot of these groups are going, they're basically almost free. So that's what we are talking about. Here's the deal. When you own your Facebook group, the number one thing about it is you control the rules, right? You control the listings, you control the comments, you control the leads coming in, you control the entire look and feel of the group. You can make it in your own image if you would like, right? So here's why this is so powerful. Number one, it's attention equals leverage. If Debbie was out building her real estate broker, one broker at a time with no big audience, there's hardly any leverage in that. If she listed a property and she had to go put it on a flyer and hand it one-to-one, not much leverage. She can go post it in a group like this or in a group based on your hometown, and huge leverage from one to many. Number two, whoever's the admin of a group, pretty much, unless you really, really mess it up, have instant trust. You guys are all taught, get people to know, like, and trust you. Whoever controls the group really does control the trust flow. Number three, this is one of my favorites that most people skip over. It provides a warm audience. These people are already in a group talking about things that are already important to them and to you. And now you're inserting yourself in the conversation. I'm going to show you a group that I just completed a complete remodel of a rental property in Freeport, Texas. I don't live in Freeport. I live in Los Angeles. I used the Talk of Freeport Facebook group. I hired all my vendors out of that Facebook group, right? Because I knew they all had a community and they all knew each other inside of there. Visibility. You know that as the group owner, you pretty much show up in every single post. So now your name recognition is in your town, right in front of everybody's face, okay? And it becomes an evergreen asset, meaning you're buying a piece of digital property. Okay, and when I'm talking about buying, please don't mistake that for you're shelling out a bunch of money. I'll show you on the 24th, I'll show you how to really acquire these for no money out of pocket. I think the most I've spent, I did buy a group of book authors, I think, for 500 bucks, and I turned around and I flipped the group for 1,000 in a couple of days because I just didn't want it. And I think the other group that I actually spent money on was I bought a group of 55,000 people in a particular profession, and I paid the guy a $5 Starbucks card. So I'm not talking like this is a lot of money, okay? So think of it like you're buying an apartment complex, except the rent on this apartment complex is engagement and there's no plumbing to fix. Okay. You're buying an asset that's going to produce leads and opportunities for you over and over and over again. Okay. So let's just talk about quickly how to find a group that might be right for you to acquire. Number one, and I'm going to go into Facebook and show you this in a second here. So I want to just kind of tell you, and then we'll flip over there. Is number one, I'm going to show you where to just check and find Facebook groups that are in your town. I mean, it's pretty simple. If somebody said that they were in St. Louis, so I'd go literally type in, I know this is going to be a huge shocker, St. Louis, right? If you are in Squim, Washington, then you're going to type in Squim, and we're gonna play from there. Okay. So we're going to search for the group. We're going to look for engagement. Now, personally, I'm not that excited about engagement because I'm looking for the leads coming into the Facebook group. You have all gone to Facebook groups where people ask a bunch of questions for you to get into the group, right? What's your best email address? Where do you live? Prove you're a human. Prove you're not a bot. All of those questions, the owner of the group gets that information. So in Debbie's case, for example, when you come into the group, she asks you for your email address. She then takes that email list and now she has a way to communicate with you outside of Facebook. So we're using it as lead generation. And I'll show you some of my groups where people have come in, and I'll show you that people are actually really leaving their email addresses and or their phone numbers. So in an ideal world, you would pick up the phone or send a welcome email to every person that comes into the group. Okay. Then you're just going to send a message to the admin. And I'm going to show you exactly where to find the admin. Sometimes you might need to send them a friend request. And I'll show you on the 24th, I'll show you a document that I've created that's basically a Google sheet that literally tracks this and literally gives you scripts to be able to use right inside there to send off to the admin. And then number 4, just negotiate. Most of these groups, you guys, people aren't adminning them properly because they're bored, or if they own Talk of Freeport, Texas, maybe they got divorced and they moved to Vegas. Right? Or I used to live in Vegas and now I'm doing a Vegas group, and now I moved to Los Angeles. So they're bored, or the person has changed and they were an entrepreneur before and then they went and got a job and now they don't really care, or they got a job somewhere or they got a business. Don't sign up for that class. It's like me asking you why your buyer's buying. Right? We don't know. It could be as much as, they like the rocks in the driveway. Okay. Now, just a couple of ways for you to monetize this before I sort of flip over to Facebook is number one, you could do local sponsorships. Okay. Local sponsorships, meaning if I'm a real estate agent and I have a lender, let's say Michelle is my lender of choice. Maybe I say to Michelle, hey, Michelle, I'll pin your post to the top of the group for a month. Just chip in $100 to help me cover my admin costs. Right? Or, hey, the turkey trot's coming up, so on and so forth, have them do a sponsorship. Maybe you trade sponsorship with other folks in your local market. This is what I'm really looking to do, is get you guys kind of hyper growth, front of the line trust with not a lot of money out of pocket. If you go into this knowing how you're going to monetize it, it makes it a whole lot easier. Okay. Number 2 is lead generation. We talked a little bit about that. You can literally, whatever CRM system you're using, you can create a landing page that's get them on a list that you're going to tell them the 3 best things to do in your local town every week. And you're just sending them out a newsletter. And then, oh, hey, by the way, I'm your local KW agent, or I'm your local Epic agent. If you need to buy or sell a home, click here. And here is a list of my trusted resources: escrow, landscaping, junk removal, pest control, pool service, that maybe you have referral relationships with, so on and so forth. Many of you are in like a BNI group. Maybe you list out your BNI people inside there. You could even sell visibility to a open house, right? So I live in North Hollywood, California. There are open houses every week. If I own the North Hollywood group, I could literally say to any of the agents, hey, you want to promote your open house in our North Hollywood group? Great, chip in $50 and we'll promote the heck out of it. Okay. And then honestly, the other thing that you can do is build your personal brand. Okay, and that's just being able to have you in front of people, as well as if somebody reminds me on the 24th, or I might show it in here. You can actually make the banner, the big banner on the top of your Facebook group, clickable to where people can actually join your email list. They can get your freebie. They can check out your listings. They can sign up for a free home buyer offer, whatever, right inside there. Okay, so here's the deal. We we've got to get you guys in the modality of stop renting attention and actually owning it. Right? You guys all run around town telling people they need to own a home rather than rent. Well, here's your opportunity to do the exact same thing. The best part about this is that if you own the audience, you control the rules. Does not take a lot of time to manage these Facebook groups, right? That's the one thing I hear. Oh, I don't want to be, I have just one more thing and da da da. And they won't take 5 minutes to manage a Facebook group every day, but you'll get in a car and go to a crappy chamber event where you're not going to get any business, so on and so forth. Okay. No, Hannah, I'm referring, great question. I'm going to show you right now. What I would recommend just to make this easy for today is to think about groups that are in your hometown. So I would look at North Hollywood groups. Now I have only people that are really interested in things that are going on in my local town there. Now, if you are looking at global reach or statewide reach, maybe you're a lender and you can do things in all 50 states, then a little bit of a different strategy just in how I'd look for groups, but same thing. I want to find a group where my customers are already hanging out. I already want to be in the conversation of them hanging out. If they're living in North Hollywood, what's going on? I happen to know that there's a turkey trot going on. The gym is doing a food drive on Magnolia Boulevard. They are doing some sort of holiday farmers market thing. I know the farmers market. That group that I learned all of that from is admin by somebody in North Hollywood. Okay. So great question, Hannah. So let's jump in. Let's spend just like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go in Facebook and we're gonna play around. I'm gonna show you a couple of quick things. And I think Debbie made me yeah, perfect. Okay. So I first want to show this. I have a Facebook group called Expand the Business. Okay. And the first thing I did was I just created a simple landing page to invite people to the group if they want. So Debbie will tell you, I'm sure she's talked about it ad nauseum. She's had many people on here. At the end of the day, we've got to be building your own email list. Okay, so I'm not going to go too deep into that other than to say the idea is that you've got a group of people, you get them on an email list, and now you can communicate them with them on email. Okay, one more place in case they leave Facebook or Facebook shuts down or whatever. Okay. You'll want to prod Debbie on asking her how important that is at a later time. Just trust me when start early. Okay, so this is just a group. I put this, it's called Join ETB. So when I'm out speaking at events or whatever, and if I say, hey, if you guys want to join my Facebook group, it's very easy. Go to Join ETB, which stands for Expand the Business. Fill in your name, last name, email address, boom, and it'll just take them directly to the private email group, private Facebook group. But what that really does is it puts them on my email list first. Okay. But let's pretend that we've already done that. We'll talk about that at a later time. So this is just my Facebook profile. Okay, this is not a business page. This is a profile, and we're talking about groups. So how we're going to do this is we're going to first go up here to our little square, and we're just going to go down to the search bar. Okay, so somebody quickly type in a city that you're from, and Debbie, if you can read me one out because I don't have the chat open on my deal.
Sure. Toledo, Ohio.
T-O-L.
Toledo, Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, Toledo, Ohio. Okay, so I just literally click search, and I'm going to go down here to groups, and I'm just going to start looking. Okay, so let's just analyze this. Toledo, Ohio. If I were an agent that was working with investors, this would be the first one I would go to. I'll give my opinion. I don't know why more agents don't work with investors, but that's an off-topic deal. So let's go right here. Toledo, Ohio, there's 27,000 members. Toledo, Ohio community, there's 1,500 members. Real estate investors in Toledo. Buy, sell, or trade in Toledo, Ohio, surround areas. I like that. Ohio investing, Columbus, da da da. So let's just humor us and go to this one. Okay. Toledo, Ohio, there is 5,000 members. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to join the group. Okay. Join the group. You'll notice they didn't ask me any questions to join the group, so they're already missing the opportunity to generate me as a lead as somebody that lives in Toledo, Ohio. Okay. So now we want to find, now I can tell you that this is an AI generated image, so this is going to be a perfect group. So whoever is from Toledo, Ohio should be all over this. So first thing I need to do is I need to find out who the admin is. So I just click on people. This is like, this couldn't be working out any better. I promise this is not planned. I just go to admins and moderators. Robert Wadarski is the admin. He is the owner. There must be only one admin that actually owns the group. That admin can add additional admins, so you might have to have 5 or 6 admins to find out who the actual owner is. Sometimes it will say up here in the banner the actual admin, the person's name, and I'll show you that in a second. So I go here to Robert. I click on his name. When I click on his name, it's going to show me. Oh, this is going to be sad and a huge opportunity. So he passed away. I know that because it says remembering Robert. So he doesn't have any posts in here. So this would be now a group. It might be more of a pain than anything. So let's just go back here because I want to be able to get you guys through something. So let's just here shop. Let's just do this shop local here. Great, this is perfect. Joshua Dasau, whatever. That's who owns the group. So I'm going to join this group. This is a shop local, support local, da 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 da. He's asking me questions. What is Toledo known for? Somebody quickly tell me what Toledo is named for.
Glass.
Glass, okay. And what is the name of the famous Toledo's baseball team?
Mud hens.
And what is the name of Toledo's famous hot dog restaurant?
Tony Pacos.
Okay. Now, dumb that he didn't ask me for my email address so he could put me on an email list and tell me what is going on in Toledo, but that's a different day. Okay. So now I'm just going to go here to people, right? I know that what's his noodle? Joshua is the owner because it says it up there. So now I click on his name here. What that's going to do is it's going to show me who, how many times he's posted. So this guy has not posted in this group since March of 2020, since before the pandemic. Okay. This is a perfect group for somebody to take over. He's only posted one time, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to go to his profile. I'll probably send him a friend request. But at the end of the day, this is a guy who I would be right inside. He is active because I can see he's active. He's posting here, but he's not posting in his own group. So one of the things I like to do is I like to go up here. He lives in Toledo, but I would basically send him a message right now and I would say, I would love to buy your group. And I'd start that conversation. It's very, very simple. Okay. I know I'm going a little fast, but I want to just literally show you who the admins are so that you can reach out to. Now, let's go to my group here, expand the business, just because it's easy for me to pull up. What it looks like when you own the group is you're going to see that today there were like 4 requests to join. This is where the admin comes in. Okay. This person joined Facebook 2 years ago. No picture. I just decline him. What am I doing? I'm looking for people to keep it real in here. This person gave me her email address and her phone number, so I'll keep that person. 2 groups and join Facebook. So I'm pretty easy about this. As soon as this, now we'll go in and take those people down as leads and we'll let them inside the group. Okay. Yeah, Susan.
Quick question. When you go in and you request to buy the group, how do you price it? Based on member, based on activity? How do you eyeball that pricing offer?
Yeah, what I'm looking for is always going to be how many leads it's bringing in, how active the group is. 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to offer to pay anything. I'm going to offer to find out what the other guy wants and give it to him. So like that guy that we just did, if I knew he was a real estate agent, right? What I would do is I would say, hey, I would love to take over that community because it doesn't look like you're very active in there, but I'll tell you what, I'll post once a week in there for the next year to pay for it. So I'm always just looking to see what do they want. Most of these folks, you guys, are just bored with their group.
And so, Casey, I'm just going to add to what you just said. you'll post once a week for a year, um, a promotion for that real estate agent. That wasn't clear.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, I wanted to show you one more quick thing is most of you guys, even if you have groups, are not um doing making the group so really cool thing. You can also put your banner up here and say, hey, click here to get your free networking tips, right? So make that a clickable. So then when I click here, I can go to your link tree or whatever. I have mine clicking to here that goes to get your power networking tips. So this group is actually generating leads from the link. I could sell this banner all day long with as many people. Like Debbie could sell the banner for her own group, or she can use it for herself inside of that group. So I know this is sort of like a super quick 15-minute crazy overview, but I am going to end on time because I value Debbie's time and I appreciate her letting me come in here and throw this up to you guys. So here's the deal. I'm going to do this thing on the 24th, and I'm also going to do it one more time, probably a week later, because I'm going to take what I learned from the first time and bring it the second time. So if you can't make the 24th, do join us. I promise you, you'll get some value out of it. Bring your questions. If you've got more questions between now and then, jot them down, go play around. I'm all over Facebook. You can also private message me, but then bring them to the 24th and let's get them answered and let's get you guys making some money. So Jacqueline, I'm guessing Debbie's going to say either private message me your question or I think you're going to do breakout rooms and maybe she'll get us in a breakout room. So
We are going to do big breakout rooms, but first we're actually going to answer a few questions. So if you
oh,
have a question for Casey, um, Jackie, there you go.
awesome.
Hey Casey, good to see you. Okay, so I tried doing this before, inspired by Debbie, and I got, groups that were larger, but then I started learning that there's a lot of groups that have a lot of kind of fake profiles in them. And that, I mean, not to be offensive, but a lot of them said they were like overseas, and I guess they're not like actually real people. It's
Yep.
maybe a bot or something. So can you give us some tips on what to look for to avoid, like how do you sort of determine if these are real people or bots or things? Is there a way?
Yeah. So I'm going to answer sorta. There's a way, but when I take over a group, I'm only looking at it when I'm making my evaluation. I'm looking at the group from that point going forward. So I just took over. I just took over a group where I'm basically cleaning out all the spam and the bots and the porn and all the OnlyFans accounts and all of that to clean the group up. And then I'm also only from that point forward letting new people in that I monitor. I don't let people in if they've been in Facebook for under 2 years. I don't let people in that don't have a picture. I don't let people in that they have 3 friends, but they've been there 17 years. So I just kind of have a feel for it. If I was doing something local, I'd kind of go to their profile in the beginning and make sure. But once you have it, it's pretty easy to do. I don't get scared of porn and bots because it's pretty easy to clean up. Just move it forward. And the reason I say that, Jackie, is most Facebook posts are dead after a day and a half or 2 days anyways. So if you've got that kind of locked down and cleaned up, pretty easy to do. The other thing that you can do is just set it up to where every post is moderated so that every post needs a human being to approve it. And then you can start banning and kicking people out of that. The biggest hassle is just like
Okay,
buying a
thank you.
house. Yeah, the
Yeah,
biggest hassle is the biggest pain in the butt is the first week you own a house when everything goes wrong and you figure out what the seller just lied all about. Same thing with this.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hannah,
Yeah, thank you for this. This is really helpful.
Thanks, Birdie.
What's that?
I said thanks, Birdie. That's an inside joke for those of us that were on the call beforehand.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, I guess my question is after you have the Facebook group, what is your like I know you're obtaining all the emails, so that's great for your email list, but like what are you doing inside the group? Are you promoting yourself regularly? Like what's a quick synopsis of that?
Yeah, so I am always trying to lead with value first. So if I'm a real estate agent, one of the things that I love about you guys is you kind of have your pulse on whatever, you're kind of the town gossips, right? You know whatever's going on because you're at BNI meetings, you're at chamber meetings and that kind of stuff. So I would be promoting the people that are in my network, right? Hey, today I met with the State Farm agent in my local area. He's awesome. Or hey, I met with a landscaper today. I'd be answering questions. So I'll kind of go through it deeper on the 24th, but I sort of have like a 5-minute process that I use on every group. So the first thing I do is I go in, I make a value post of some kind. Then I go in and comment on every post that was made the day before. And then I'm going to send friend requests to those people that are commenting and adding posts so I can get them out of the group onto my email list and then out of the group into my profile. So it's just a place to start with that audience that you already own.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tag onto that and say community events are a great thing to post in those local groups. Whether it's a, pumpkin patch that we just had, a food drive, you know, pictures with Santa, anything, craft fairs,
Ribbon
the farmers
cuttings,
market. Yeah,
anything that positions you as sort of like
the expert.
the community builder that at the end of the day, I want you to be the person when somebody says, "Hey, I need something," and that person says, "I got a gal." I want you to be that gal. Or, "Hey, I need a lender. I need, a new fish bowl. I need, where's the best hamburger? Oh, you know what? I got a guy. I got a gal." That's who you should talk to. That's what we're trying to position you as so that everybody comes to you as sort of that resource center of attention.
And if they come to you for all of those things, think about this for your real estate. When they want a home and they've always come to you for answers for everything else, why wouldn't they come to you for an answer for buying or selling a home?
100%.
Excellent. All right.
100%.
I don't see any other hands up. Does
I
anybody
got,
have any other questions before we go into the chat?
it looks like Raymond and Jose.
Raymond, or okay, Jose.
Is he going to put the link for the 24th on the chat or did I miss it?
Yep, it's right there. I'll put it 3 times since I count that as spam.
Okay, Shahida.
Hi, do you recommend targeting the larger groups versus the smaller groups to start off with, or should we begin with the smaller groups first and work our way up to the larger groups?
Great question. So I am always going to say go for the gusto, like start at the top group and work your way down. Primarily, it's because when those groups come up, when somebody searches, I want to have that, and it's much easier for somebody to join a group with 100,000 people than 200. So I'll start at the top, and a lot of those are just spam groups. So you'll have to get them, maybe do a little bit of a rebrand, clean it up, and then make it that community thing. So I would do a blend. So for me personally, we've got a Google Doc, and what we do is we might reach out to 50 groups in order to take over 5. And some of them are going to be like, I don't want to take it. Like if you said reach out to Debbie and said, I want to buy your group, she's not selling her group, but she would then say, hey, maybe we could partner on something. Maybe we could joint venture on something. And she could. So now you might have that opportunity as well. So it just keeps you in the conversation.
Yeah, excellent. Raymond.
There we go. So yes, so thank you for having us here today. This has been very informative. I like the idea of being able to purchase Facebook groups. Haven't really thought about that too much. I've been more of a content creator myself. I do a lot of YouTube videos.
Awesome.
Events, first-time home buyers, educational stuff. Like right now, we're talking about this 50-year mortgage extension. And really, I've just been educating a lot of buyers and other real estate agents on exactly what this 50-year means. And so I'm working on content right now. I'm going to be releasing that. I was actually one of the first and only agents really to interview Leslie, who is the previous president of NAR, after the lawsuit had happened. So I got the content and the exposure from that, which led into other agents wanting to watch and learn my stuff. So as far as owning Facebook groups, I own a few Facebook groups. What I do is also with owning these Facebook groups, I'll host some REI meetup groups. So like I'll have real estate attorneys in there talking about 1031 exchanges, trust accounts. I'll have the managers of like a merit title come in, our local merit title manager come in and talk about, title transfers and stuff like that. And then I'll be there to talk about real estate transactions, what it means to be a buyer agent or a seller's agent, and how, why certain, reasons why properties sit on the market longer than others, and what the issues are in those. So, I mean, I think definitely adding to what you're saying is having those REI meetup groups, but just wanted to kind of feel how you feel about having those.
100%. 100%. It's just another place to place your audience. So Debbie's smiling right now because you said my two favorite words, which is YouTube. So I'll give you an example, right? So I was just interviewed on a podcast that launched yesterday. Prior to the podcast, them launching the episode, because of the Facebook groups I own, promoted that. They posted it 2 weeks ago, but they haven't launched it. Within that 2 week period, just through my Facebook group exposure, was able to push that to their #2 most popular episode of the podcast before they ever even launched it. Right? So Debbie doesn't have enough time on this call to get me going about YouTube and Facebook groups and everything in together. Maybe we'll do another one of these on YouTube. But to me, the biggest gold mine that you guys are most of you are missing is YouTube. But let's start with Facebook groups, get you rocking and rolling, and then we'll move you over there. So yeah, I'd absolutely do REI groups.
And I'm sorry, one more thing about REI groups. So there is a tip and trick that I've learned to do it, is like if you have like a local pizza shop or something like that in your area that maybe is kind of sluggish on business, but they have like a little section off to the side, I just go into the manager and be like, hey, can I just host once a month, every month, a meetup here? And they're like, well, how much money is it for us? Well, I'm going to bring you business because I'm going to market my investors or my clientele, my people that are coming to watch me. They're going to purchase pizza, and at the same time, I'll purchase maybe like 10 pizzas at the same time, and maybe have that, as like kind of like an open house in a pizzeria, or in a, whatever type of restaurant off to the side.
Yep.
And just have like little taquitos, like little mini tacos on the side with some refreshments, kind of like an open house in a restaurant. So you can
100%. And those restaurants, so it's funny you say that because I co-own a REI weekly group that meets for lunch every single Wednesday. I literally saw Debbie there or Peggy there yesterday at the Sizzler here in North Hollywood because it's a salad bar. People come, we force them to buy lunch. They give us the whole back of the restaurant. Sometimes we have 17. Yesterday we had 17 people. We sometimes have 80 people, and it's just a great place. And then a bunch of pictures are taken. That picture goes on content inside of the Prosperity Through Real Estate Facebook group. So 100%. So yes, Susan, I know, believe it or not, they do have a couple of sizzlers. And I don't understand why. I'm just saying I get indigestion every Wednesday from 11 to 1. Yeah.
All right. We are going to do breakout rooms now. Casey, icebreaker question for the breakout room.
Icebreaker question. Is it real estate related or not real estate related?
How about it's Facebook group related?
Okay, Facebook group related. Okay, I would ask how many Facebook groups are you actively participating in somebody else's pond?
Excellent. All right, you guys, we're going into breakout rooms. So they're open. Go to your room. Well, good. I'm glad you were enjoying the breakout rooms. So we are back. We have 3 minutes to wrap this baby up. Anyone have anything super exciting from the breakout rooms?
I do.
Okay.
This is Cece Ellis. I think her name, I think it was Susan McKenna. I think it was. I don't want to mess her name up, but I think so because my daughter's name is McKenna. That's why I remember. But anyway, she gave some really, really, really good ideas. She is in Mexico where everybody wants to live, right? And so she is pretty much a cash base, versus here we do lending and stuff. So she was saying that to like find your groups on Facebook. So for example, like for me, I was an esthetician for 15 years. So she's like, find some groups that you could buy maybe that are beauty based and help them find whatever they need to have, but then give them tips and different things so that attracts them back. So when they're ready to buy a house, or maybe they want to have a salon in their basement or whatever, but to find something other than what we think of just buyers and sellers is what I loved from
Yes.
her.
If I can add to that, we didn't go into this. I'll talk about it on the 24th. I go with HIP, hobbies, interests, and passions. If you can find groups that you have as a hobby or an interest or a passion, those are great affiliations to make. Great call, Susan and Cece, for sure.
All right, Peggy, your hand's up.
Yes, Chris Dell posts on 1,000 Facebook, and he owns 50, and he owns 50, so that's 1,500. No, 1,050. He said more than a 50. So he does content, has a spreadsheet, and I'm sorry, I forgot who else was in there. Not Rhonda. Christine, I think, was in there, and she also does a spreadsheet. So I think that was great. They do spreadsheets. They put what content they're going to send out to different Facebook groups, and they're tracking them, and they're tracking what kind of response they get, how many posts there are. I just thought it blew me away, actually. Casey, you love Christelle.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, we all love Christelle.
Yes, well, we do. How
So
could we not?
yeah. Okay, so that is a great point. And I also want to tell you one other thing. This is not something that you have to do all by yourself. Um, in the early part of the call, we had someone on who was talking about not having enough time. They had so many things to do. These are perfect tasks for you to give to your VA to do. And how do I know that? I have two full-time VAs that work for me. Ramjel is in here right now. He is going to be sending you out the chat today. Jocelyn can't download the chat. I'm not sure if she's still here, but if you will type chat and put your email address beside it, Ramjel will actually email you the chat. But yeah, this is a perfect task for your VA to do. You create the post and then have them put it in all the different Facebook groups. Chris Rains is an expert at this as well. He has at least one full-time VA that does all of this stuff for him as well. So, all right, you guys, we are going to button this up. It is 9:01 where I live, so we're 1 minute past the top of the hour. Casey, thank you so much for being here today and sharing this information. Casey, you want to drop that link one more time for
Yep.
anybody who wants to join you on the 24th and get a deeper dive into Facebook group acquisition and posting and that kind of thing. And we will see you guys all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Don't forget to download the chat.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you guys the 24th. Thanks, Debbie. You guys are amazing.